All right, welcome into this edition of the Milwaukee Bucks on Tap podcast. Corey Moen, Evan Byrne. Evan, how we doing?
Can't complain. We're just in that weird spot of Christmas is over, but the New Year hasn't happened yet. So it's like that year of what day is it? What time is it? I don't want to leave or do anything because why bother? But doing well. Had a good holiday. Can't complain.
Yeah. So before we really start to get into the games, what did you receive for Christmas?
Um, One of the big ones was my brother and I got Bucks tickets, so we get to pick a game to go to. That was probably our big one, and then I'm a big Lego guy. I love Lego sets. I got a couple of those. Clothes because I'm at the point where I don't need a toy anymore and nothing big. So a lot of clothes, a lot of sweatshirts. I got to get stuff that's not Brewers to wear because I feel like that's just my majority of my wardrobe now. But yeah, a lot of clothes, some decor for Brewer decor, unironically, and Bucks tickets. What about you?
Yeah, so I got sheets, got some new
That's big.
pants.
That's big.
Let's see, we got sheets, we got pants. What else did I get? Mainly that was I got some new shoes for work. Again, we didn't. At this point in time, it's like we're older, so it's
Hmm.
like Christmas really isn't that big of a deal
There's no
anymore.
magic in it.
Like it's really just about spending time with family. My brother and his fiance who came over from Colorado, and admittedly, like they didn't do a gifts exchange, so we didn't feel obligated to buy them gifts, and kind of vice versa. So, yeah, no, it was a good holiday. It was good to kind of spend time with our friends and family. Only got one Christmas a year, so now we look forward to New Year's, and then everything's gonna kind of kick back up
Hmm.
once 2025 hits. But the Bucks. But to kind of go off that, the Bucks did have a few games this week, or even last week, to kind of end the 2024. First up, we'll kick it off with the game against the Washington Wizards. Uh, just a complete annihilation. The Wizards didn't belong in the same floor as the Bucks. Bucks were able to pull off that game. 112 to 101.
Hmm.
Bobby Portis obviously had the biggest performance of that game. I believe he scored 34 points. And let's see, we got two hosts. Let's see. We
Yeah,
had a
he had
K
34.
mid at 18. Brooke Lopez 14, Ryan Rollins 14. And this is how it's going to be for the next couple games. Is like Bucks did play, I believe, in all these games. I'm talking about against the Bulls and the Nets, without the services of Giannis Antetokounmpo
Hmm.
and Damian Lillard. Probably giving them some rest, kind of heading into the new year. So, what did you make of Milwaukee's performance against Washington?
They did what they need to do, and it was kind of nice to see Chris Middleton have a good game without Giannis and Lillard. It's one of those things where you can kind of trust him on the floor, but it's not going to help if he's supposed to be our star and he's not the one kind of doing the main contribution. 4 from 6 from three. But yeah, no, even a bigger game from Bobby Portis. Feeling a lot better. He took 21 shots, still shot 66%, so efficient from it with a double double, almost his second career triple double, I believe. I know he had one on the Bulls, but 2 assists off, had a couple steals, had a block. Felt really comfortable with him out there. Only one foul, 2 turnovers, really nothing to kind of offset his high scoring performance. And then you have like 8 turnovers, but didn't really happen. Brooke Lopez, again, another bigger game. I just felt more comfortable with this one, obviously without Giannis and Lillard. A lot more vast contributors, not obviously you had Bobby at 34, but you had 34, 18, 14, 14, 15. So a lot of guys putting up double digits, which is always helpful. And then again, a couple points here or there from some of our bench guys. AJ Green, Torian Prince had a not the best game, but also didn't take a lot of shots just in general. Um, One of the harder parts I feel like for them this game, Jordan Poole shot lights out from three-pointer in the first quarter, but then disappeared for the rest of the game when it came to three-pointers. Made 8 of 13, but it felt like he made all of his so quick and then did not really take a lot later in the game. Malcolm Brogdon had an atrocious shooting game, 2 of 10. Yeah, there was no one really besides Jordan Poole, and I never know how to pronounce his name, Kubali. No one outside those two guys I really felt like was a threat to the Bucks this game, and Kispert. Everyone else, again, very staggered, but they did what they need to do, and I was overall obviously impressed by it, but not too surprised that this was kind of the outcome for it.
Yeah, and look, the Wizards, this is just a very, I'm just going to call it right now, it's just a very unserious franchise. I just think anytime your building blocks for the future are Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma, what are you doing? Like, Kyle Kuzma has missed 11 straight games due to a rib injury. And, I don't know. I just don't know if, like, I get Jordan Poole can, like, can kind of goof around, like on the Wizards just because of the fact they don't have a lot of talent. I mean, they have this guy Alex Starr, but like they just don't. I mean, this is just a franchise in peril. I mean, they got Alex Starr, like I said, he's a high draft pick this year, but they got Brogdon, they got Kispert, so they got nice players, but like they just don't have like guys to really. I don't know. I just feel like your building blocks are Jordan Poole, Kyle Kuzma. Your team's just not going anywhere, and that's what you've seen right now. That's why they only have 4 wins, just because I just don't know what direction they're heading. I don't know. If you only have like 4 wins on the year, it's like what? Like, can we still call that rebuilding? Or are you just like really bad? Because at some point, if you've been rebuilding for like 5 or 6 years, are you really still rebuilding, or do you just need to hire like new people in charge? Because, the Wizards have had bad trades. They've had bad draft picks. They've had bad coaches. Just bad overall, bad upper management. So at some point, it's just like, you just kind of wonder as a Wizards fan what direction we're going in. They haven't made the playoffs since 2021 when it was Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal. And even I thought that trade for Russell Westbrook was a bit of a desperation move to begin with. They got rid of Bradley Beal without getting much for him. So I mean, I'm just trying to sense of like, the fact that Ryan Rollins could come in and score 14 points off the bench, like as a starter, shows me that this is very much an unserious franchise. Like, no disrespect to Ryan Rollins, NBA player, but him scoring 14 points is like
a 50-pointer.
Basically. It's basically what that's like. So, I mean, look, they only won by 11, but, again, if Jordan Poole is going to be your name and Bilal Coulibaly, if those two are going to be your main guys on offense, your team's not going anywhere. And, Bucks, the Bucks handled this game with relative ease. But yeah, I just don't know where exactly the Wizards are heading in the future. I don't know if they're going to tank for like a number one overall pick, which again, I don't think is a guarantee. I don't know if they're trying to put all their eggs in the Cooper Flag basket. But, if Cooper Flag goes to Washington, poor Cooper Flag. That is all I gotta say, because this is what the Wizards do, is they think they get a guy that's really good, and then all of a sudden they ruin him. I.e. Johnny Davis. He's not even on. I don't even think he's on the team. He's not even on the team right now. He is like playing straight up in the G League because they just never found a way to develop him. So good win for the Bucks, but it was to be expected because of the so-called talent that they were playing against the Wizards.
All right. And we got the Bulls.
Yep. So that was another game too. Game Monday night against the Chicago Bulls. Another massive Bucks win. 112-91. I think really what we saw from this game was Chris Middleton came alive again. Chris Middleton was cooking early and often in this game. Let's see, scoring 21 points, 23 minutes. Bobby Portis dropping in 19. Brooke Lopez as well dropped in 21. What I saw in that game Monday night was like shades of 2021 Chris Middleton. He has mid-range going, and once Chris Middleton's mid-range is going, he is very, very tough to stop. So, what did you see in Milwaukee's performance against Chicago?
I felt like after the first quarter, there was really no hope of the Bulls coming back. Only held them to 17 points while the Bucks scored 33. Again, led by the man Chris Middleton. I felt like the starters, obviously outside of Andre Jackson Jr., again, he only took 2 shots. He's not a shooter. I felt comfortable with their starting production. You had 19 from Bobby, 21 Chris, 21 Brooke. Brooke scored 20 points, 20 plus points last few games, which is always nice to see with the lack again of Giannis and Lillard. And then guys off the bench again, AJ Green hitting a couple shots. Not the best, kind of a little inconsistent shooting game, but still put up 10 off the bench. And then again, Gary Trent Jr. hitting a few threes as well. I just felt overall this was a good all-around game. Again, not one where one person was the main scorer. Everyone else kind of scattered around 20 points while the others were contributing 10 to 15. I got to pull up my all stats. I think one of the biggest ones, 13 turnovers, kind of a understandable amount, but I felt like the offensive rebounds weren't as high. Still gave up more than what they got, but I felt comfortable with the lack of scoring on their end with them. One of the big things, again, Kobe White's one of those guys who can quite often go off, typically on the Bucks. Kind of held him to a low-scoring game, only 10 points, only 2 three-pointers. Again, he's one of those guys where he can catch fire and it's game over. I just felt overall the lack of three-pointers, I feel like kept them in the game, or out of the game, I should say, if we're talking about the Bulls. They only shot 10 of 48, which is just about 21%. So I feel like that was one of their biggest takeaways, was being able to guard the three-pointer and force up any bad shots. A lot of them came down to the last few seconds of the shot clock. So being able to lock down and force up a bad shot, I feel like kept them in. And then obviously on the other end, the Bucks just being able to shoot consistently just under 50%, about 42 from 3. So again, good overall game. I wouldn't say expected game, because we lost to the Bulls by like this kind of margin earlier in the season with everyone. So a good overall game, a good bounce back game. I think we're up 2-3 or 2-1 now against the Bulls, playing them tonight as well, but wasn't really expecting them to win by 21. But a good overall game, just because I kind of knew that they're still capable of beating the Bulls with or without Giannis and Dame.
Yeah, and similar to the Wizards, the Bulls, I'm still kind of wondering what their direction is as well. You just kind of wonder how long they're going to keep this core together. With Vucevic, with Zach LaVine, and who else do they have? They got Patrick Williams, they got DeSumo, they got Kobe White. I mean, it's like that specific core. It's like you kind of wonder. It's like they're 13-17 right now, and are they going to keep going through this stage of just like, we're just going to be good enough to get like a low spot in the playoffs, like a 6 or 7 seed, and then just keep running the same team back? Because the Bucks were really just knocking down the Bulls without Giannis or Dame. Just kind of showed me a lot. I think, and even Doc Rivers has said in the past, it's like that's a game we would have lost, right? That like a game without, and we talked about this earlier, where it's like usually games in which Giannis or Dame don't play, or like one of them plays and one of them doesn't, Bucks generally lose those games. So it's impressive the fact that Doc Rivers has done a good job of like helping turn the tides a little bit, and turn the I guess assumption that Bucks are going to lose if they don't have Giannis or Dame playing. The defense has been a lot better, and with Chris Middleton, being the offensive force that he is, they're extremely tough to stop. And once you add Giannis and Dame to that mix, and Chris Middleton's rolling, this team looks like the team that it did from like 2019. 50 wins, just stacking 50 wins on top of each other. So, wasn't surprised. And again, the Bulls, the other thing too, they didn't have the services of Lonzo Ball, which apparently he has an illness. So, I don't know what direction they're going, because it just feels like they keep trying to run it back, but they keep running into a brick wall. But good win for Milwaukee. Really not much for me to say other than the fact that, like I said, it was good to see Chris Middleton start cooking again. AJ Green looked good. Gary Trent made some shots. So, and back-to-back good games for Bobby Portis. So Bucks fans have to love seeing that. But yeah, that was mainly it. Bobby Portis he's heard the talk about, we should trade Bobby Portis, and he's like shut him up in the past couple of games. So,
now we get to talk about the fun home loss against the Nets again.
Yeah, yes we do. Yes we do. That game was a bummer. That game was the reason why that game was a bummer is because the Bucks really had a chance to win all three. They could have won all 3 games. They had the lead for most of the game, but they just shit the bed in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
They absolutely shit the bed. They got outscored 35-23 in the fourth.
Yeah, they scored 43 points total, or 46 total in the second half.
Just shit the bed, and it was contribution and you're gonna lose games when you allow guys like Shake Milton to have 20,
yeah,
Noah Clowney to have 20, Cameron Johnson almost dropped a 30 burger on us. Okay, Keon Johnson 12, Nick Claxton 13. It's just it didn't look good. Middleton had 21, Lopez had 20, and then Portis again at 18. But again, everybody else. Gary Trent had 14. So there was a frustrating loss, because if they played well in the fourth quarter, they would have won that game.
Mm-hmm.
But
easily.
But way too many open shots. Offensive rebounds was a bit of an issue. Turnovers. I mean, you just name a way that Bucks lost that game, and it was 22 turnovers, 9 offensive rebounds, 15 of 38 from 3. They shot 49% from the field, but again, and they only got to the line 12 times, so 12 steals. So I mean, it's very much like the Nets simply in the fourth quarter made the plays they needed to make to win the game, and the Bucks didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's evident with the fact that the clincher was, I believe the Nets are up.
They're up 4 or
4 or 3.
3 or 4.
Maybe
Enough. I think it was 3.
I think it was 105-102.
Yeah.
I think if I'm not mistaken, it was 105-102. Ben Simmons has the ball. I think AJ Green, I believe it was Bobby Portis, decide to double Ben Simmons at the 3-point line. Cam Johnson is wide open. Wide ass open. I think Middleton was late on the closeout. Makes a 3, foul, game over. It's just those mental errors that they just cannot make. And I just don't know. I'm still really trying to grapple with why they decided to double Ben Simmons at the 3-point line. Ben Simmons is not a 3-point shooter. He is afraid to shoot threes. As much as people wanted to buy to the lore of Ben Simmons, of the summer of Ben Simmons shooting threes, he never fucking shoots a 3 in an NBA game. So I just don't understand what the logic was behind doubling him at the 3-point line, especially if Cam Johnson's been cooking you the whole game. Make somebody else beat you. That's the thing. That's my thing. Is Cam Johnson had been just rolling the whole game. You have to make somebody else beat you in that situation, and the Bucks unfortunately did not, because they are not good in those situations. Anytime that they have to make a defensive stop in which the player that's been cooking us all game has to get rid of the ball, the Bucks never do it. I've never, as long as I've been a fan, I've never seen the Bucks at any sort of any end of game scenario double the guy.
Who does not shoot 3-pointers. He had his first
Yeah,
shot made outside the paint since
yeah,
February of 2023. If
yes.
that says anything,
Yeah, they don't
double
like they
team him.
never like they don't the Bucks are just like as an organization feels like they're just allergic to double teaming like the player that's been cooking them all game. Like like in a prime example, and I'm going back like a couple of years, but like a prime example is like when Kevin Durant was just rolling against him in the 2021 playoffs. And that final game in the Eastern Conference quarterfinals. I think it was the semis.
Whatever the second round is.
Yeah, the second round, yeah. Guess who took the last shot? Kevin Durant, because this team just does not double team. I just don't understand why they just don't send two guys at one guy so that you can make the other guy beat you. I'm trying to understand that logic behind that. They never do it. As an organization, they never send a fucking double team. Send one. If you send one and you make the other guy beat you, I can live with that. What I can't live with, okay, is leaving Cam Johnson wide ass open for a wide open three, and he makes it, and then the game's over. It's just, why do you do this to yourselves? You're double teaming the wrong guy. Don't double team Ben Simmons. Make sure Cam Johnson doesn't get the ball. If Shake Milton shoots a three and he makes it, I'm good with that. But what I'm not good with is the one guy who's been rolling against him the whole game, like,
it's wide open.
Makes the impact play for them to win the game. I don't like that.
I think what's more frustrating too is then that next possession, Chris Middleton makes a 3-pointer.
Yeah.
Tie game potentially.
Yeah. But again, that's the Bucks for you. They always make a key play, but it's always like one play like too late.
Yep, one play too late.
Damn it.
Yeah, that was frustrating. So now we've lost two times to the Nets this season.
But again, honestly, even if they tied it, they just didn't deserve to win that game. They just played like shit in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And again, that has a tendency to happen when you have one guy who can close. Like, if nobody else is doing anything and it's just Chris Middleton like fucking controlling the offense, it's just like nobody else, like they're not going to win that game. Nets just had way too many contributors like in that fourth to like lose that game. And again, I don't know. The Nets have just given us fits the past year or two. Don't know what it is. You know who it kind of reminds me of? 2019. Like, the Bucks regular season were rolling. Okay? Remember a team they couldn't beat?
It was either the Hornets or the Rockets.
No, it was the Suns.
Yes, because I went to one of the games where I went to one of those games where they shit the bed near the end.
I think they lost all. Correct me if I'm wrong. We might have to go back.
They won 0 for 4.
They lost all 4 games to the Suns. I remember that, and the Suns were the NBA's worst team.
Correct. Yes.
The Suns
I was at one of those games.
Could not, for the life of them. I think Jamal Crawford hit a game-winning shot against them.
Yeah, Middleton made a game winner, but it was too late because they just wanted to hold the ball a little more. Yep. Because I was in college. Yep, I remember that.
Shit, for the life of, and maybe that's who the Bucks are. It's just like, and the Bucks are the Nets are the 2019 Suns, where they just cannot beat them for whatever reason. I never know what it is. Have all the top talent, just for the life of them, cannot figure out the Nets.
It's like the Brewers with the Pirates.
Just can't figure them out. Just cannot, absolutely positively cannot figure them out. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, it's probably because they have all that young talent. That could be it. Although they're missing Cam Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
So it's confusing to me how they're still struggling with the damn Nets. Because the Nets are like 12 wins. They're probably going to be rebuilding. But damn it, the Bucks just cannot figure them out.
I was hoping without Dennis Schroeder that, maybe we would just win.
And for the first 3 quarters, they were on their way to doing that. But they just, damn it, they just could not. Noah Clowney and Cam Johnson. And again, this goes to my other point. Random players just going off against the Bucks. It's the tale as old as time.
People love playing the Bucks for that reason.
Yeah, I know. I've never heard of Noah Clowney before. When was this Thursday? Before Thursday's game. Now all of a sudden he's like, Jesus, Who the hell's Noah Conley? Where'd he come from?
Yep, 7 of 10. Shake Milton 7 of 10 off the bench.
Crazy. Shake Milton, I heard of Shake Milton. He played for the 76ers, but it's like, what the hell? Shake Milton's going off against us?
Yep.
Jesus. Just random players, and now they play New Year's Eve at 2:00 against the Pacers. I know they played against the Bulls, but especially since having to see T.J. McConnell again, that guy gives me nightmares.
They'll find a way to score 45 points somehow.
I know they will. I know they will. So, kind of a shorter podcast today. Did you have anything else?
No, again, Bulls tonight, and then that matinee game on Tuesday against the Pacers, and then just because we didn't get a Christmas game, which is fine because then I couldn't be upset or days ruined when the Bucks lose at noon. But yeah, no, I got the 2 games to close out the 2024, and then we will pick back up with the Nets January 2nd. I think that should be the last game we see them for the rest of the season.
Unless they somehow sneak into the playoffs.
That is very true. Wouldn't be surprising.
Nope. So, all right. Thank you guys for tuning in to this edition of the Milwaukee Bucks Untapped podcast, and we will see you guys next year.